Many institutions require Black and brown individuals to meet their standards of integrity, and they also turn around Black and brown individuals from jobs and education systems. This has become a monolith of American society. We can relieve some of these damages imposed on these groups by implementing affirmative action policies in everyday institutions, workplace, and in schools. This subject demands a sense of urgency, which is why I encourage other people to get involved in this matter, and which is why I'm talking about it today. And the ideas I'll be discussing are the problems, causes, and solutions for affirmative action to become a permanent device in our institutions. The problem is that disproportionately fewer Black and brown individuals are getting into high-paying jobs or getting into the prestigious schools that they applied to. The NPR article notes that there's a hostile approach in the college admissions process now. And this kind of attitude has been growing in the past couple of years. The Atlantic says that there's ultra low acceptance rates are indications of a poorly designed system that is in need of long overdue change. The system for college admissions is turning around a lot of students because of its high cost and lack of access. Affirmative action is built to equip underprivileged individuals and give them the opportunity they deserve to hopefully, on a larger scale, bring Black and brown people out of their displacement in society that is systemically imposed on them. Now that I've explained why affirmative action is necessary, I will be explaining the reasons why this institution began to implement action measures in the first place. The cause for affirmative action is a lack of reparations for Black and brown individuals in America. This encourages people of color to be more comfortable in the workplace and living wages and getting out of their conditions of oppression with their community. The New Yorker says we should better ensure that the hiring process is not only promoting a colorblind manner, but also a good faith effort to include racial minorities. The idea of equality is supposed to make all individuals equal, but in reality, Black and brown individuals have been systemically silenced and oppressed and didn't have these opportunities. And this leaves many people of color in a deficit in our modern institutions. A significant source of backlash towards affirmative action is colorblindness. This distinction is important to make. People of color have it harder in America generally and should be able to use affirmative action policies to be better represented and have the same opportunity as white groups. Finally, I'll be discussing the ways that you and others could recognize affirmative action and where it should be placed in society in your day-to-day life. Currently, there are 2 cases up for grabs in Supreme Court, and these are the Student for Fair Admissions versus President and Fellows of Harvard, and the Students for Fair Admissions with the University of North Carolina. If overturned, higher education institutions will still be able to do outreach and recruit students from all backgrounds, but it won't be implemented like it is now, and other institutions won't use this process. So there must also be a strong advocacy for affirmative action locally, and having conversations about this could bring a level of awareness to it so that people can recognize it more in their individual lives. The best way of staying ahead of affirmative action issues is by looking at where you see it day to day in institutions that you're involved in. Even in primary institutions like high school, we notice a divide. In the Atlantic, they claim that The students who take college prep courses and pass them are disproportionately affluent and white Asian individuals. This kind of discrepancy in the education system isn't because these groups are inherently smarter than minority groups, but it's because a lot of majority Black and brown schools don't offer AP classes, and the ones that do don't set them up for the same kind of success that white Asian students would get, even if these Black and brown students are projected to be just as capable as those other students. Affirmative action is one of the ways that we can create reparations for Black and brown people. Enforcing these policies and staying aware of the state of affirmative action is necessary to create a more fair society. This is just a vehicle for a better and more equal America.